Debbie Clark. The recent motorsport happening, we're into the competition season now, and probably about me got to see the Indianapolis 500 land, and everybody knows by Mirrors was the winner. Pat Bedard, car and driver, had a spectacular crash. I'm sure we'll be reading about it soon. I'm sure he's going to have health to be able to overcome that and keep on running driver, at least we certainly so. A few other races happening in the local. We have one coming up on June 24th at Motorsport Park in Shubenacadie. Sunday will be race the afternoon, in particular the races for both motorcycles and cars sedans. In the area would like to come, please do. We will on the 24th. If you would like any more information on the racing season, contact John Kirk at Nova Scotia. We have in rest to Atlantic Motorsport Party for all UAC and AMCO members on June 9th, and lots of work to be done. Unfortunately, the work has been too well attended, so there are some things to be done, fences to be erected for those 2 days. Again, go John Kirk if you have any questions concerning particular projects. Our next regional slalom, we had one slalom just a couple of weeks at Shearwater. Very well attended. We had some people come in from Newfoundland, people from New Brunswick. The New Brunswick managed to off with the fastest time. First and second fastest time of the day was local George Shepard, and he managed to hold the honor for us. Another one in Moncton on June the 10th, June the 10th, and it's the next in our regional slalom. Fastest time of day was Wayne McDonald, Mary from Moncton as well, and Honda, and George Shepard in a Honda. We had for A, Mario Guimond came first, George Shepard was second, William Irving from this area was third, A improved, McDonald from Moncton, in a Honda, Marks and a Mazda 7. We saw Garfield McGoy, Halifax resident, come first. Greg Martin from Newfoundland, and Ray McKnight, all from Newfoundland. So we had a very for that event. Hopefully we will be able to continue them for the coming year. We have on cable vision Monday 5:30 a show called Currie, and this Monday possibly, although it's a billboard, we're not quite in, there will be an hour-long show on the Speed Sport Atlantic car show within the Halifax area if you will. So if you're interested, if you didn't get a chance to see that and you're interested in seeing some of the cars were there, please keep an eye on board for the Potpourri show, an hour-long feature on. That should take us up to date on happenings. One last thing, we do have the next car club meeting, the Sports Car Club meeting second Tuesday of the month at Chinatown Restaurant in Rocky. June 12th, next meeting date, and we will be having a form date next week. Don't have any of the figures of this week's show, but next week we'll be able to put you with those updates. We have with us this evening a couple of gentlemen who are explaining a few of the pressing problems on society today, in particular relation to driving. We have George Currie, Executive Director of the Nova Scotia Council, who is a regular on the show. Thank you for tonight, George. And Brian Will, Coordinator of School Service, the Commission on Drug Dependence. Good evening. We're going to talk maybe this evening a few subjects, especially with a program that you have, Mr. Wilbur, the high school level, all school levels, concerning dependency, maybe not just drinking, but all sorts of drugs. Can you give a rough idea of what your program's involved with on the school level?
Well, there's a range of programs in place at levels within the school system. The programs, of course, the Department of Education and their curriculum got through health, begin primary levels, and gradually develop as the student develops up through all grades, so that the students, as they mature and more and more things around them, want to make responsible concerning them. At a young level, of course, starts it with what's a point, and started with that level. But it's best to look at other substances through the.
And how long has your department been in this at the school level?
Well, part of the school services were part of when it was initially formed, for 12 years. Been growing interest in school programming, and especially with the programs, the senior high students. Looking at particular areas within that. There's been an amount of concern of studies of young people and some of their behavior related to that, and that they may be to the festivities.
Over the past 12 years, you've probably been able to narrow a few of the problem areas and concentrate on those now.
Well, we found a few of the areas kind of zero in, and they have a high amount of interest. For example, the whole area of safe graduation is one of those which has come to the fore, an area of interest. Is something which we've looked at and examined in a bit of depth for the last 2 years, in fact, and have developed some programs to implement with students, working along with, see what can be done, change that type of behavior.
So what would the program consist of specific safe graduation summers?
So, looking at a whole ranges of associated festivities.
Right.
The summer seems to be that people are more to drink more.
In Nova Scotia, there's a little more conducive.
And they may be eating alcohol more frequently. And we're looking at our rings along that of how to reduce those types of risks. One of our concerns, first of all, was whether or not this occurred in Nova Scotia. We've heard other places where this may be or may be occurring. So we had to question, is this going on here? Last year we took a series of studies around graduation just to see what was going on. We said graduating from a rural high school and another group, urban high school, and we asked them what you do around graduation week. And it was kind of interesting, because 50 of the students who responded indicated that they went to the graduation prom. But 83% of the students went to an after-prom party. And this was a particular concern, because quite often these parties are long distance to drive. They quite often are at night, because it's almost that one cannot go until daylight. Even sit on the curb, wait for the sun to come up.
Save your reputation.
Right. And we were concerned with the range of grid. This is one that the students identified strongly, that the after-prom party, particularly high-risk time. We wanted to ask principals, and so we surveyed all throughout the province schools, asked them what they saw as them. And schools, again, in the after-prom party, the prom is everybody's dressed, well-dressed.
Yes.
They didn't see that much of a problem there, but the after-prom festivities.
Ritual can begin.
To a certain extent, it's grown up almost a tradition that one behaves that way. That's very sad, because if it's a lecture, whether they want to behave or not, they may feel that is the way they should.
And
it's setting up quite a structure, force them into a behavior which they may not be. The same type of quite often happens with it's just not a adolescent phenomenon.
Yes, it's true.
And so after we studied the situation, we felt that there had to be some way to intervene in this cycle, some way to help those who were involved become aware of some risks. So we decided this year to pilot some schools, and we selected 5 high schools in the Metropolitan area, and invite students and teachers to a seminar at the church. And at that seminar, identified various risks associated with growth. And we also identified some positive ways of looking alternatives to the risks. Then the ball was put in the students.
Mostly an education program.
Yes, but the students then take that and decide what they wanted to do with it, like a representative group. And they would like to do their school. And
any ideas, not as a result of that?
It was kind of interesting. We got quite a range of activities underway in the metropolitan pilots. Some of the schools have started this campaign. I think one drink and dance. Yes, campus school. Others alter party after prom party. Some party to make it the best party, but can make it to plan it free. And I think it provides a good the rest of their life, really. They can go to a party, have a terrific time, and have it chemically. It's a possibility of
Telling them that maybe you have to be drunk to enjoy a good time.
In fact, one of the made that people drink a lorry.
Yes, if you happen to be doing so boring.
Very boring.
It gives you an alternative. It's kind of fairly great just from that meeting.
Well, we were with the enthusiasm from the start, the risk that they took. I think that they really have to be, because they this responsibility on to organize, do a lot of fundraising to get behind, and to encourage graduates to go. So they've got 100% graduate attend. They came after prom party. I really believe it.
When this has happened then?
Well, first year made a really good 75 years they get. They really took us really quite pleased with the part of the students.
Do you think that they were maybe ways to enjoy themselves at a graduation party? Maybe I can give them an idea of what kind of party doesn't have a beer or hearth or a veil to offer a good time.
Yeah.
So what goes on from here? Right, that's what here. What's
We've got several things, and upon parts of this year's program, and I think that's this is as far as our goes. And now what is going on in the schools, what they've had is, and we have to evaluate the process. They just, I think, we begin to look at it, and we begin very well. We're do our week in November, our whole camp faculty, and I think it was that youth care, and they're starting earlier, hope to involve more and expand it from 5 to 6.
Would that eventually, maybe depending on...
might depend upon the interest expressed in Nova Scotia and operated in the past on the communities where people have programs on their own hand. Parents, teachers, students.
I'm speaking before the show, there were 9 schools in the province of Nova Scotia. And does the Nova Commission does have someone involved in each of those times?
We have staff, and we have worked very closely the past number and resources for schools and students' systems. But I think in this type of the fact that the students themselves do a lot of the day-to-day work, make them aware, but it doesn't become home until it becomes personal. Hey, I want my one that I remember a safe and happy. This dance, a good dance, safe dance. So the staff is there, but I think the schools are concerned.
In the future, is it starting sooner, expanding Nova Scotia?
Yes, yeah.
Well, a great success so far. That sounds great. Can't do anything but.
Well, I'm very has gone up. Enthusiasm was.
And of course, the Commission on Drug Dependency with the Safety Council on a lot, and looking for experts on the Safety Council. How is it going to affect many of the problems that we're having with seniors? Maybe with a good time and they're ready for habits that for into adults?
The program is very positive, strongly in support. In addition to that Brian had, where in addition to that, the Premier concerning the task force in driving, I understand have been an immediate type of approach to offer students who wrote their problems an opportunity to get them set up and perhaps add enough drug chemical free and care. So this is to the Commissioner's Brian. I'll get back to your question, mostly about everything relates to human behavior with young people. Of course, it's very, very young, and that they and the behavior. So you parents out there, okay. Fact is that most of the behavioral trends that adolescents, teenagers, young adults show to us today, in large measure, reflection of they have acquired from their as very action program taken by the task force, which the people are all very, we at the Council in ways that we can. Our forecast and currently largely in the edge. We are aware it's been developing part of it now and can continue to be so. I'd like to take it one step, Debbie, because this major emphasis, and we're for that. It's not overlooked that relatively young adults approaching midstream are directly and heavily involved in the problem. A survey that we 1983, 1981 indicates if we look in statistics from that view, from the viewpoint of ages, the age group between 50 and 29, correction, from the biggest impaired drivers to right there. Recent survey that was on Insurance Bureau of Canada 1983, the public opinion holds that in fact that the average impaired driver in the 3 years is well educated, words mobile, and that surprised few people.
Not dump a lot of the blame.
There's a habit that we have, dumping young people, those things don't feel too comfortable. That they will have a tremendous responsibility in this. I'm not trying to undermine that, but I do that a mature adult currently responsibility artistically. In terms of the approach, trying to in public opinion that we can the moment is to increase public awareness of them and a few of the more aspects of the problem. There is a desperate to increase of impaired by the fact is it is a signal that framing in and death, and the unfortunate innocent people who perform done anything but this type of problem.
Yes, it's not just
and the case of these people, they have this, and there's frustration and greed, everything else that goes with it. The second thing we need to do is to increase perception chances of being caught. Steps are now, the perception caught is a beat movement is underway to their vigilance on the roadways, them to identify more of these. For example, one that the Nova Scotia State has advocated officially in transportation to all our recommendation with the proposed legislation federally that it may legally be a person who has been who feigns injury of being hurt by alcohol or that we favor gaining the federal justice's bill a whopping minimum fine. We're recommending is that the assist financially that every source in this process is adequately alert the breath test device, breathalyzer, the road a boom device at roadside. The point that recommending is that who fail the warrant of this phases to pass me that there is probably between milligrams per 6 normally wouldn't in a and of course the fail means that person 100 milligrams or more in their body for the breathalyzer. We're recommending a little warning the legal impact. The police be authorized legislation to do 4-hour right there at the road. This is punitive. It's an individual, but read the idea of that, positive aspect of it, to get on the wheel before serious and something hurt her.
From the fact 1 or 2 drink salt in that.
Make note of it, when you're between 100 milligrams of alcohol concentrate in your blood, and they have at those limits. So those are just a few that we're doing. Getting back to the thing, I'd like to about 83 in Nova Scotia. 183 people, 9 people had a direct motor vehicle trauma. Car to car, bicycle. 172 represents percent found in their body at meat portion. Of 144%, these are all fatalities. Alcohol, major contributor. So if there's ever any, there shouldn't be as to what alcohol areas in existing and can to offer to do more and to support as the safe graduate course. This is where it begins. But let's not forget your view up there. It's not just young people that must accept a major share of the. It's the too.
As the benefit of these programs, the age and possibly others before they from that, maybe we're going to see this all the time.
Not like mothers and dads up there sell their teenage children if they in alcoholic beverage wine, but let them responsibly and let them driving so that it will be a positive demonstration to their older, let's say older, their teenage. But I'd like to see the parents set a good.
Abilities for all of the public. They may not be the vitality because it they help someone else, and abilities that maybe they all suddenly someone else's life into their hands when they drink and drive.
If we have time, I'd like to point that Brian were discussing before, and that is danger. What kind of choices, responsibility, country can assume under the leader is. If you find yourself an individual driving in someone else's car, if the driver has, and most assuredly too much, get in the car. No thanks. Look, I'm going to. We're encouraging these and all people assume some ability for them to be safety.
Not that socially accepted to drive someone like that.
They might find 2 or 3 young. I think they're just waiting with the courage.
Right.
Yeah. I think they get very strong message to the if the passengers can speak up.
That's right.
And it says off the bat, hey, paired, back.
Get out there.
Well, thank you to both great success. You're both involved with very much in way of educating, and we'll see down the road or not. Thank you very much again for this evening. Good night.
Too. I was past Shore, and I noticed some cars there in the parking lot.